takedowns are a crucial part of Batman's moveset in Arkham Asylum. However, can you still beat the game without using a single takedown? Hello everyone, I decided to challenge myself to beat Batman Arkham Asylum without using any takedowns. Here's a list of all the takedowns in this game. I can't use any of these attacks or I'll fail the challenge. I'll be going over gameplay first, and then talk about other areas of difficulty during this run. Gameplay includes combat and Predator. Let's go over combat first. Combat just wasn't very challenging. Who needs takedowns to bash heads, break bones, and shatter spines? Batman sure doesn't. There are very few enemy types in Asylum, and they were all beatable without takedowns. Combat was easily possible without takedowns. Moving on. As you can probably imagine, Predator was extremely difficult without takedowns. Surprisingly, the most difficult Predator challenges were the ones at the beginning of the game. Batman only starts off with one gadget. Wait, just one gadget? What do you even need a utility belt for if you're just gonna carry around one gadget? The only attacks I could use against these thugs were glide kick, punch, and throw batarangs. It seemed like batarangs did absolutely no damage, which left me with punches, glide kicking, and hopes that should not be as high as they were. Both of these attacks were loud and only knocked down a thug, and since I didn't have the ground takedown, finishing them off was difficult to say the least. My first idea was to wait for the thug to get back up on his feet and then punch him some more until he was knocked out. This proved to be ineffective though, because by then the other enemies in the room had closed in on my location and started shooting at me. I couldn't get anywhere near these thugs because of the ridiculous knockback and stun duration when I got hit with a round of bullets. Look at this. Why are you just standing there, letting them shoot you instead of moving forward? This is why you bring more gadgets with you, Batman. After many deaths, I discovered an effective glide kicking mechanic. When gliding, if there are any other thugs around, they will be stunned for a certain amount of time. This would give me plenty of time to start a combo and ultimately finish off the enemies in the room. So after learning this mechanic, this is the strategy I used. I would glide kick one thug, then grapple away. This would hopefully alert the other enemies to his location. Once they were all grouped up, I would glide kick a second time. Any thugs within a close proximity of my glide kick would be stunned, so then I could just start a combo without having to worry about getting shot. All that was left for me to do was keep my combo by continually punching the thugs as they got up. Obviously, this is not an ideal way to take out enemies, but it worked nonetheless. Once I got the explosive gel though, it made Predator so much easier and a lot more bearable. The explosive gel can not only insta-take out thugs when placed on weak walls, it can also one-shot enemies if they are exploded off the walkways. This made the challenge a lot more fun than I imagined it would be. Watching no good criminals getting blown up and then falling to their untimely deaths was satisfying. Even the uncooperative enemies that just wouldn't fall off the walkway for whatever reason were not hard to deal with. The explosive gel does a certain amount of damage each hit and can KO opponents in 5 hits. It was kind of slow at points, but it was much easier than my glide kick strategy. Once I got the Batclaw though, Predator was a breeze. I was able to clear entire rooms in 1 or 2 minutes at max. You may be wondering, how did I take out so many thugs quickly just by using the Batclaw? Well, start the montage.
Man down, over here!
I may have broken Batman's no-killing rule more than a few times, but what can I say, Batman? Some challenges are just more important than your moral codes. Although Predator was extremely difficult and a huge pain to get through most of the time, it was possible without using a single takedown. Let's go over some of the other areas in the story that gave me trouble during this run. The first area I ran into that gave me trouble was the tutorial stealth mission. By the way, you'll see me mention multiple Predator sections even though I just talked about Predator. That's because some of the Predator sections were unique enough to discuss on their own. This area seemed to be impossible to complete without silent takedowns. Once you make one loud move, the thugs are alerted and will instantly start shooting at you. It's very hard to even get close to these thugs once they notice you because, as mentioned before, the ridiculous knockback. After I died once, I tried skipping the thugs entirely instead of knocking them out. What do you know? It actually worked. Skipping through was not the answer to my problem that I was expecting, but I'm definitely not complaining. The next area that tried to ruin this run was saving Commissioner Gordon. In this area, if any thugs are alerted, Harley will shoot Gordon and you'll have to restart. The problem is, I can't use silent takedowns, so if I wanted to try and take out an enemy, I would immediately alert the other thugs and lose. I really thought this area was going to be the end of this challenge because I had no way of taking out these thugs. However, I might not have to. I tried getting to Harley by sneaking past these thugs instead of using a silent takedown on each of them. This area wasn't nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be for one simple reason. These thugs are practically blind. I was able to crouch behind the guardrail to get past this thug, even though the guardrail has many holes in it, and I was walking in his direct line of sight. Not 5 seconds later, we run into yet another example of an enemy that's as blind as a bat. Pun intended. I accidentally walked directly in front of him, yet he didn't even seem to realize or care that he's face to face with the freaking Batman. I thanked him for his incompetence and proceeded to go the much safer direction. I was able to make it up the stairs with no trouble, and I was feeling relieved that I got through that section without using a single takedown. Or so I thought. Once I was directly above Harley, I was greeted with this prompt. Yep. I said screw it and used my explosive gel instead, hoping it would work, and it ended up triggering the cutscene. I can't tell you how surprised I was that I was actually able to make it through this section without using a single takedown. I didn't run into anything worth mentioning until the insane prisoners. These guys were so annoying to put up with, plus they freak me out. The game insisted more than a few times that I use the ground takedown on these guys, but I resisted and went to the trusty old punches to the face. Punches do so little damage to these enemies that I would sit there for a good 5 minutes, repeatedly hitting them, yet they were still somehow conscious. After seeing that punches didn't work, I tried out explosive gel. 5 explosive gel hits and they were knocked unconscious, same as the other thugs. Yes, it was tedious to continually place explosive gel on the floor every time I encountered with one of these enemies, which was a lot, but it was the quickest way I could find to take them out without takedowns. For the remainder of the game, I never ran into any trouble. I was able to defeat Poison Ivy, stop the Joker, and regain control of Arkham Asylum without needing to use any takedowns. You know what that means. Batman Arkham Asylum is completely beatable without using a single takedown. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Batman Arkham content, and stay tuned for when I tackle Batman Arkham City without takedowns next time.